What's up, everyone? It's your boy Terry, speaking from the garage shop again. Here to offer you some more big bang for the buck product and info. Yeah. Well, we're in the garage shop. We're just getting all the parts in order and everything like that because you might have heard that we're going to be doing the 69 Camaro project. Now, see, I did that project probably in 2006. And it's time to refreshen it. We're gonna change the entire characteristics of that car, and you wanna stay tuned for it. But we are not talking about that today. But you really should stay tuned for it and check it out. I'm gonna hit you with some really good videos. No. Something totally different, but I'm finding out it's a very common problem. So let's go over to where I keep my parts. Well, it's actually just one part, but then it's three parts inside that make that one part, along with a bunch of other little parts. Let's go over to where I keep the box that just came, and we're gonna talk about it. Come on, let's go. So before we even start, help your boy out. Hit subscribe, hit all the likes on the videos, right? And then all what you wanna do is you wanna smack the bell. You ball your little fist up like this and you smack that bell. Because that way you'll get notified every time Coverman66 puts a video out. I'll wait. Do a couple more likes on a couple more videos. Just go do all close to 200 of those videos and just hit like on all of them. Every last one of them. Watch a few of them. Help your boy out. Thank you very much. All right, so y'all guys been coming into the garage shop for years, and you've been hearing me with these videos and all that, and I really appreciate it. So, you guys are, you're family to me, okay? So I'm gonna tell you guys a little story of what happened with the Trailblazer SS. All right, are you ready? Here it goes. Last week, I was driving the truck all day long. It was feeling real good. I was having a good time. Had to go to the bank. I stop off at the bank. Now, being you cannot go inside the bank, you have the drive-through here because of COVID. So I'm sitting online for about 20 minutes. Now, it was hot. It was hot. I just got my AC charged. I'm sitting online listening to my favorite Earth, Wind & Fire song. So I'm feeling the groove, car cuts right off. Not everything, but just the engine. Couldn't start it back up. Jugga, wouldn't start. But I had power, radio was still working, windows working. So I immediately think it's a relay. Call one of my buddies up, he comes by, we get it towed to the house. I was only like maybe 2 miles away. An hour later, I come back out, I was like, I kind of want to mess with the car now, so let me just go and push the car in. So I'm pushing this heavy vehicle in the garage. Right, once I get it in the garage, boom, starts right up. Okay, so I can't really chase a problem that doesn't exist. So the next day, I start the car up. Again, it is hot out there, blistering. Have the AC on, trying to recreate what I was doing when it happened the first time. Let it ran for about a good 30, 40 minutes with the AC blasting to the point where I was almost tempted to turn it off. As soon as I was reaching for the key, car cuts right off again. So I found out that this was a common issue with the Trailblazers and the Trailblazer-like vehicles and some other vehicles in the GM fleet. When the fuse box gets a little too hot, the engine will just shut down. And the fix was either to, it could be an ECM, or it could be a relay, or it could be the fuse panel. Call up my buddy Tony from TBS Owners. He says, Terry, it's a common issue, replace the fuse panel. Then I called my buddy Chris Rosado. He's the son of Nelson Rosado, my buddy that you see me out in SEMA with. Yeah, he's all into electronics. You need to check him out. Second to none audio and electronics. And he says, yes, we've seen this happen before. It is a common problem. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna replace the fuse panel. And I got this straight from GM. Now, I didn't even want to mess around because I read on the website that you can go to the junkyard, you can get a used one, which is all well and cool if you're in a budget or if you have to, or if you have a junkyard around. But I was thinking, no, cheap insurance, let me just get something new. So we're gonna install this and hopefully this will solve my my issue so I can get back to the jamming. All right, now the first thing you wanna do, make sure you disconnect the batteries. Batteries disconnected. Then you wanna locate the fuse box which you're going to replace. Take the top off. Okay, so like this. There we go. This is the top. That comes off. We're going to just replace this whole box, and we got to remove these wires because we're going to put them back in the same place. So what I like to do is take a picture of everything, or a video, and So you have a point of reference just in case something jumps off where you need it. 7 milli. This bolt stays in place. So you know where that goes. That one, that nut, 13 milli. Now these are the 4 bolts that you gotta loosen. They hold the connector in place. And you go back with your 7 milli. And eventually it'll be loose. And what you wanna do is you wanna make sure you break that connector free. So just push down on it and that breaks it free. You got 6 tabs that you gotta pull up to release the fuse box. You got 1 here, you got 1 in the back here, you got 1 over here, so that's 3. I stand corrected. You got 2 on this side, so you have 5 tabs that you have to pull up, and you pull them up like this. You see right here? This is the tab that locks it in place. So all you gotta do is just reach up under there, lift that up, and pop it out. Everything's loosened, so we could just remove the fuse panel, and that's what you have. These are the connectors that connect to the bottom of the fuse box. All right. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure you don't see any burn marks or anything like that on these connectors. Make sure everything looks good. Check and see if the wires are proper height that they should be. Now to remove these connectors, it's a push-in. See, you see that little tab right there? Now it locks in right there. All right, so basically to remove those, all you gotta do is get a screwdriver and push this tab in and then just wiggle it out and it'll come right out. But let's take this over and compare it to the new one. So I got the old one out and then I got the new one. Now what you wanna do is you wanna make sure, the fuses are pretty much identical from the old one to the new one, because there's a couple of fuses that I had to remove to get the electric fan to work, some other accessories that I had to remove a fuse from here and jump them. So that's what we're gonna do now. We're just gonna compare and before we put it back in. Oh, one more thing, a point of reference. These things, these bolts, they do not come out. And what you may have to do is you may get them to the point where they're loose. If the connector doesn't want to come loose, just tap it with a little hammer. Lightly tap with a little hammer and you'll feel it move and just unbolt it and it'll just drop right in its tray. Let's go and put the new one in. Now the cool thing is the connectors, they fit down right in the tray. There's a space for them, see? And they fit. See, all you gotta do is just put them down and you should be good to go. But don't forget, you gotta connect these wires right here. And so there's no confusion. The connectors, just like most of the connectors on a GM car, and we go in one way. Thank you, Chevrolet. All 4 of these bolts pop right up. And it says snap. So the connectors on the side, well, a couple of them are connected, but that was a good sign because when they jumped up, and if you turn them a little bit, yeah, they caught. That one caught that connector. That one caught that connector. That one caught that connector. And that one caught that connector. And it made me feel a little bit confident that, it's in correctly. Where I didn't bend the terminal. Keep my fingers crossed because you never can tell. Everything's in place and the tabs are connected. At this point, now I'm gonna go and tighten the connector to the fuse box. But here's the thing, don't muscle it. I don't think you should muscle it. And you could use some dielectric grease. I've seen people use it. I didn't use it this time, but I have seen people use it. But also, another thing, if you feel any type of resistance, other than when it's snug, but if you feel any type of resistance, just stop and back it off. Because if you mess up one of those metal connectors, you will have a Jonah of a time trying to straighten it out. Well, I'm almost done here. I'm just gonna connect the positive and the negative, and we're gonna hook the battery up and try to fire this bad boy up. Check it out, got the fuse box back in. See? Yeah. And what I did was I just made sure, make sure all the fuses are seated correctly, you know, that they're not wiggling or anything like that. And seems like everything's good. I removed a few fuses from the old panel, which weren't on this panel. So now it's time to start this truck up. Check it out. See the cowl hood? Yeah, for the Trailblazer. See? I forgot to hook the battery up. Strike two, we're gonna start it up. All right. Got the power. All right, well, what I did was I checked all the switches, made sure the lights work, everything worked, because like I said, when you change the fuse panel, you know, make sure everything works. And of course, you know, while the engine was on, I had to give you guys a little taste of what it sounds like. Yeah. Tell me what you think in the comments below, please. Let me know. And there you have it. That's how simple it is to change one of those fuse boxes out of a Trailblazer SS and Trailblazer SS-like vehicles. Yeah, they are. But looking at the clock on the wall, or should I say ceiling, time for me to head on off and continue to do what I do here, because like I said, I got 69 Camaro coming in here, my 69 Camaro, the very first LS install I ever did on my personal car, and we're gonna still do with the 67 Chevelle. We still got some tweaking to do with the Trailblazer SS, so we got, and my brother's Corvette's coming up in here, so we're gonna watch that, and so we got a lot of stuff to take care of, but it couldn't be done without you. That's right. And when I said you were my family, I really meant that, because I feel the love and I love the comments, so keep them coming. Don't forget, like I said, subscribe, hit the likes, and make sure you hit that bell. Like I said, you gotta smack that bell, because you want to get notified when I put these videos out, and I got a lot of videos coming. That's right. So as always, please be easy. Maurice, rest easy. And I'll catch you guys real soon. Take care.